I have the flu, and I'm going to show you what I do to take care of some of the symptoms and help my body fight off this virus. There are many ways to get rid of the flu. Some people, they just tough it out. They lay around and they feel terrible, and their body somehow is strong enough to fight the flu on its own. Other people go to the doctor and they get antibiotics, and some people go to just over-the-counter measures that just treat the symptoms, like NyQuil and other items like that. But I like natural and herbal remedies, so I'm going to show you the ingredients I combine to not only fight the symptoms, but to strengthen my body so that it can fight the flu on its own. Alright, I'll show you. Right here we have everything that I use. Let me try to fix the camera. Alright, can you see that? And I'll bring some of these to you. Okay, so I'll just start with this one because it's loose. This is a lemon. We're going to use the entire lemon. It's organic. We're going to cut the rind off and separate that, but the entire lemon is going in. Now, I labeled some of these so that it'd be a little easier for you. This is garlic, and I like to use sprouted garlic, so I'll go to my garden and pick it out. This is mint. It's dry. If you have access to fresh mint, use that. Anything you can use fresh, definitely get that first. This is fresh thyme, fresh turmeric, fresh rosemary. This is sorrel, which is also called hibiscus. Yellow root, cinnamon, sage, which is fresh, and black peppercorns. In the center you'll see that I have ginger. Now the ginger has been blended and then put into ice cube trays, and that's why it has this shape, but it's ginger. You will also need a knife, a cutting board, a coffee grinder or mortar and pestle, something just to grind things in, a jar with a lid, any kind of closed glass container will work, and hot water. Now this is a kettle straight off the stove. It was boiling before and I'm letting it cool down. You want it to be hot enough to pull the ingredients out of these items, but you don't want it to be so hot that it burns everything. So get it boiling and then let it cool for about 10 minutes or so. And that's enough time for us to get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is put all my wet items aside and work with my dry. This is the coffee grinder, which I'm going to grind everything in. And I like freshly grinding things because it releases a lot of the oils that are in there. So the first thing I'm going to put in, I'm going to remove this sage because it's fresh. And I'm going to put in the cinnamon. This is about a teaspoon of cinnamon. I'm also going to put in black peppercorns, and this is about a teaspoon of black pepper. Black pepper is spicy when you fry it and sweet when you boil it. So your tea isn't going to be as spicy as you think. I'm going to move this garlic because it's fresh so I can get to the mint and move the thyme aside. What black pepper does is it gets down into your system and encourages the flagella in your lungs to bring up whatever phlegm or inflammation or congestion is in there. So right after you take this tea, you'll find that you start coughing. And you'll start coughing up a lot of the flu that's in there. Alright? I am going to put this yellow root aside, even though it's dry, because I'm going to break it before putting it in. Alright, I'm going to add the sorrel, also known as hibiscus. Alright, and then I'll just return these wet items to the plate. Alright, so yellow root sometimes can be very tough, and you can try to snap it to put it in the coffee grinder, that's fine. But if it's really, really tough, you want to use like a, call it like a pliers to break it. Okay. This one's really tough. Alright, so now I cover it and blend. Whoa. And blend it really fine. I can see little chunks coming up, so I know that it's not fully blended. You can always stop it, let it sit for a second, let the dust cloud settle, and then check. And there are some big chunks still, so I'll blend more. With a mortar and pestle, you'll just be pounding it. Smells so good. I can smell that cinnamon. Okay, I think that's enough. Now I'm going to get a funnel and funnel it into this jar. Now if you had a large jar or a jar with like a large mouth on it, then you wouldn't have to do this step. So this is only because I have such a small mouth on this jar. Okay, just going to pour all that in there. You can see what it looks like. It's just brown blend that easily goes in. And then get everything that's stuck in the lid. Okay. And I'll put in some of the chunks that are still left. Okay. So now we've got the powder in there, and it's time to add some of these liquids. Well, wet things. Ginger has already been blended, so that can be tossed in there. I find that ginger rots really fast in the fridge, so when I blend it and then freeze it, it just lasts so much longer. The thyme, that's thin enough, that can be just thrown in there. The same thing goes for the rosemary. Small enough. Now we have 4 items left, and they are the chunky items. It's the lemon, the turmeric, the sage, and the garlic. I'm going to take my knife out and start prepping these. So I'll just start with the thyme because it's the easiest. Not sure if you can see how thin I'm cutting it. Whoops! Me and this camera. Let me tighten it. Okay. I think that's as small as it's going to get. So these are how thin the slices are. They're like that small. Hold on. Like the ginger, I keep the turmeric in the freezer. And then I'll cut it even smaller. Even smaller. Now I could blend this up like the ginger, put it in ice cube trays, and then have perfect little serving sizes of them. But I find that turmeric is really easy to work with when it's frozen. unlike the ginger. So there's no need for me to do those extra steps. It's just more work for me to do around the house. Okay, I'm going to do the sage. That seems pretty easy to do. I'm just going to start chopping it up thinly. Sage is a little fibrous, so it takes more pressure to cut through. Okay. Now for the garlic. We'll just cut it even more now. It's important to make things like flu tea and other remedies early on when you're not feeling well, and not to wait till you feel awful to try to make them. One, you'll be exhausted, and two, you'll be forgetful. So while your brain is still sharp, the illness hasn't seeped in, go ahead and do these things. Now for the lemon rind, I'm going to peel this lemon. Now lemon rind is great for the lemon oil that's in it to coat your throat. There we go, I've got the rind, and I'm just going to dice this rind up. There we go. One reason why I cut up the rind before putting it in is because it will expand when in the water, and it'll make it difficult for me to clean this jar out when I'm done if I've allowed large chunks of rind to be in there. It's another reason why I don't put just whole slices of lemon. I do lemon without the rind. Doesn't this look tasty? Okay, now time for the lemon, because the whole lemon is going in. Okay, so I sliced the lemon, and I'm not going to dice it up any further. I'm going to show you how I put it in. Move the funnel, and I want you to be able to see what I do with the little lemon slices. So here's a jar. Let me pull it out a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and put in the chopped items minus the lemon slices. And I'm putting my hand around the mouth of this jug so that if little pieces fall, I can easily fix them back in. Whenever you're making items that could get messy, it's important to sanitize your counters. Because I don't know if everyone's like this. I know I am. If something falls on the counter and I really like that item, I have this strong temptation just to throw it in anyway. And one thing about countertops is they tend to be really gross. People touch them, they walk by, they cough. They put items that have grossness on the bottom of them on the counters. So it's not a good habit. But one way, I guess I get around being totally disgusting is just to sanitize my counters before I make things. So these have been wiped down with soap and water and then washed with vinegar. Alright, now here's what I do that's special. Is when I put in a slice of lemon, I don't just stick it right in. I hold it on the side of the jar and I squish the lemon juice out. This just ensures that I get more lemon juice into the tea. Put it in there and start squeezing the juice along the side. So I have my finger creating pressure along the side of the jar to get the lemon juice out. And then I let it drop. Another reason why I do this last is so it washes down anything that may be stuck on the sides. There you go. I let the seeds drop in as well. As you can see, this is already, oops, that one slipped right out of my hands. This is already a fairly chunky tea, so it's going to have to be strained anyway before I consume it. Right? One more. And now I'm just going to go wash my hands off a bit. My hands smell like lemon! Alright, so this is what we have. This beautiful arrangement of tea items. It smells good. Now time for the hot water. You could use a funnel for this, and I am because, as you can see, there's little dry tea particles, and I want to make sure to get all of it in there. So I am rinsing the water around. Keep it from splashing, pull the funnel up so that there's some air getting into the jar. See, there's a little section right here for air. I'm not just keeping it down, pulling it up a little higher so air can get in. That'll keep the water from splashing on you when you're pouring it in the funnel. Pour in that wonderful hot water. And then put the lid on your container. Look at that. You can shake it around a little bit. Don't do it a lot because the heat will create pressure on the lid and it could make it shoot off. This is what the tea looks like while it's brewing. I'm going to let it brew until it's like nearly cool. So it'll just be slightly warm. We just made flu tea! Yay! That means we can combat the flu. So normally when I make this flu tea, it is the day I'm getting the flu. And it takes 2 days of 3 batches of this for me to get over the flu. So I've just been able to get over the flu really quickly. When I was younger, I used to get the flu 6 times a year. That's excessive, but my immune system was just so weak. Now I do many things like, I don't get flu shots. Since I stopped getting flu shots, it drastically lowered the amount of times I got the flu. One, I would get the flu shot. I would get the flu every time I got the flu shot. And then I would still get the flu 6 times that year. And now I have improved my diet. I exercise more. I am more conscious of things that attack the immune system, like dusty areas and that kind of stuff. And I'm more cautious when it comes to being around people who are sick and drinking after people and sharing food and that kind of stuff. And I also do flu tea. So when I do get the flu, which is now sometimes once a year, some years I don't get the flu at all, but when I do, I make flu tea. It takes 2 days for me to get over the flu. I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions on how this is made, or if there's something that's confusing, and tell me what you do to combat the flu and how long it takes for you to get over it. All right, till next time, goodbye!